If I can share the screen.
Durga babu.
Again.
Chini paruchanti?
हाँ किमिति चिन्हिबनि अच्छा लालू बाबू मु आपन को गोटे ईमेल पठेइथिली से जो हायर एजुकेशन सेमिनार पे आपन को ऑफिशियल ईमेल
We will start.
Okay, we can start now.
So I just wanted to let you know that we are all live. ଆଉ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରୁଛନ୍ତି then we are good, but ଯାହା ବି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ it's on live, like YouTube live, everybody can see it now. Please. Oops. Sorry. এটা কাହାର ଚାଲିଛି? I hope it's not mine. এটা କାହାର ଚାଲିଛି?
ବରାଳ ଆପଣ ଅନ୍ କରି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି କି?
କିଏ କେତେ ପାଇଛି ତାର ହିସାବ କିଏ କରୁଛି? ବଡ଼ କଥା ହେଲା ମୁଁ ମୋ ସ୍କୁଲଠୁ କ'ଣ ପାଇଛି ଆଉ କ'ଣ
ଓ ଆପଣ ଟେଷ୍ଟ କରୁଛନ୍ତି କି?
କୁହାଯାଏ ଯୋଉଠି କିଛି ମିଳିଛି
Then I started.
ସମୟରେ ଫେରେଇ ଦେବାରେ ଅଛି ବଡ଼
ନାଇଁ ଆପଣ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ଆମେ ଦେଖିପାରୁନୁ କିନ୍ତୁ
ଓ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ଦେଖୁନାହାନ୍ତି?
ନା
ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଆହ୍ୱାନ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ ହାତରେ ହାତ
okay I see sorry, extremely sorry. So I have to probably change the view to speaker view.
ଡାକୁଛି ତାର ଡାକ ଶୁଣି ମୁଁ ତ ଆସିଯାଇଛି।
Still I cannot see your screen.
ଆସନ୍ତୁ ଏ ମହାନ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟରେ ଯୋଗ ଦେବା ନିଜ ସ୍କୁଲଠୁ ଯାହା ପାଇଛନ୍ତି ସେଥିରୁ କିଛି ଫେରେଇ ଦେବା ଆସନ୍ତାକାଲିର ନୂଆ ଓଡ଼ିଶା ଗଠନରେ ସହଯୋଗ କରିବା।
ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ ବ୍ୟାକଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ନଏଜ୍ ହଉଛି?
ସୋ ଆପଣ ଭିଡିଓଟା ଦେଖି ପାରିଲେନି?
ନା ଟିକେ ଦେଖାଗଲା ତାପରେ ଆଉ ଦିଶିଲାନି।
ପ୍ରଥମେ ଦେଖାଗଲା ଟିକେ?
ହଁ
ଓକେ ମୁଁ ଲେଟ୍ ମି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ଆଉ ଥରେ।
again ଆଉ ଥରେ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ।
Okay. So can you see it?
କେହି ଜଣେ ଡାକୁଥିଲା ଦୂରରୁ
Yeah. Yes, we can see.
Okay.
ଡାକୁଥିଲା ଆ ତ ମୋ ପାଖକୁ ଆ ତାରି ଡାକ ଶୁଣି ମୁଁ ଫେରି ଆସିଛି ଏଇଠିକୁ ଯେଉଁଠି ଦିନେ ସିଲଟ ପିଠିରେ ଖଡ଼ି ଛୁଆଁଇ ଲେଖିଥିଲି ଓ ଇଏ ସେଇ ଜାଗା ମୋ ପିଲାବେଳର ସ୍କୁଲ ଠିକ୍ ଏଇଠୁ ହିଁ ମୁଁ ମୋ ଜୀବନ ରାସ୍ତାରେ ବାଟ ଚାଲିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାଲି ଶିଖିଥିଲି ଦିନେ ଚାଲୁ ଚାଲୁ ଚାଲି ଯାଇଥିଲେ ଦୂରକୁ ଅନେକ ଦୂରକୁ ସେ ଏବେ ମୋତେ ଡାକି ଆଣିଛି ପାଖକୁ ଏବେ କିଏ କେତେ ଆଗକୁ ଯାଇଛି କିଏ କେତେ ପାଇଛି ତାର ହିସାବ କିଏ କରୁଛି ବଡ଼ କଥା ହେଲା ମୁଁ ମୋ ସ୍କୁଲଠୁ କ'ଣ ପାଇଛି ଆଉ କ'ଣ ଫେରେଇବାକୁ ଆସିଛି କୁହାଯାଏ ଯୋଉଠି କିଛି ମିଳିଛି ତାକୁ ଠିକ୍ ସମୟରେ ଫେରେଇ ଦେବାରେ ଅଛି ବଡ଼ ପୁଣ୍ୟ ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆମ ପ୍ରିୟ ମୁଖ୍ୟମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଆହ୍ୱାନ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ ହାତରେ ହାତ ମିଳେ ମୋ ସ୍କୁଲ ଅଭିଯାନରେ ସାମିଲ ହେବା ପାଇଁ ମୋ ସ୍କୁଲ ଶିଖେଇଥିଲା ଏବେ ଡାକୁଛି ଡାକ ଶୁଣି ଆପଣ ବି ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ନା ଆସନ୍ତୁ ଏଇ ମହାନ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟରେ ଯୋଗ ଦେବା ନିଜ ସ୍କୁଲଠୁ ଯାହା ପାଇଛନ୍ତି ସେଥିରୁ କିଛି ଫେରେଇ ଦେବା ଆସନ୍ତାକାଲିର ନୂଆ ଓଡ଼ିଶା ଗଠନରେ ସହଯୋଗ କରିବା।
नमस्कार अनिल बाबू এটা ये YouTube रे होची ब्रॉडकास्ट ना?
Yes it is coming all right.
लिंक हम टिके देखि के सेटा को भी देखे कि मेसेज आछी कोन तार टाइटल दैचंती
सेटा तार जस्ट लाइव जहां भी लाइव अछि सेटा कर दियंतु इट्स जस्ट कन्वेंशन तार जेनेरिक टाइटल अछि
ओ लाइव ना ओके गॉट इट थैंक यू खाली ऑफ कर देबी वॉल्यूम टा
sure.
Okay, welcome to the Orissa Development for Seminar. We have 3 topics today. The first topic is Mo School, and for this topic we will start with Mrs. Susmita Bagchi. She is best known as a novelist and short story writer in Odia. Over the last 3 decades, she has published 8 short story collections, 8 novels and travelogue, 1 more novel on geriatric issues, and the second part of her popular travelogue Mo Jharakaru Kutibi is in press right now. She has been the associate editor of Sucharita for nearly 3 decades. In 2019 August, Susmita was invited by the Honorable Chief Minister of Orissa, Sri Naveen Patnaik, to the to be the chairperson of his dream project, Mo School Abhijan. She accepts only ₹1 per annum for her full-time work at Mo School. I have actually visited her at the Mo School office. Beyond her full-time work at Mo School, in her personal capacity, Susmita is deeply engaged with issues of mental health, blindness, and geriatric care. So she will now give a presentation on Mo School. Susmita, you can share your screen and
I don't know. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't see anybody. Okay. Anyway, does
मैडम परहैप्स आपण जदि गैलरी व्यू पर अच्छे क्लिक करिवे समस्त थंबनेल आछियो
कि मैडम बोधे आपन पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन अछि कि
हाँ अपन माने देखि पारुछंती मो स्क्रीन टा
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ଆପଣ ସେୟାର କରିନାହାନ୍ତି
शेयर स्क्रीन बटन टा करंतु तळे
राइट नो वंडर
ସେୟାର ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ଟା କ୍ଲିକ୍ କଲେ
करेक्ट हाँ यस
ଆସିଗଲା ବଟନ
Yes.
ଦେଖି ପାରୁଛୁ
You can see it.
हाँ देखा बढ़िया देखा जी थैंक यू
This is the first time I'm doing a presentation on Zoom. So I guess we human beings, we just find ways to connect, right? There are new ways to engage, and this is the first time, like I said, I'm doing it. So I was in Bay Area last December. Apan manako bhitaru kiye thibe hueto. Because I met about 100 people and I gave a similar presentation. So you have to excuse me if I repeat myself again. You know, I just want to tell you that I have studied in a government school. So has my brother, my husband, and many people that I know, and I'm sure most of you have also studied in government schools in Odisha. But you see, look where you are right now. So why isn't it that way now? Obviously, something has changed. So that was the reason why our Chief Minister, Mr. Naveen Patnaik, started a new initiative called Mo School Abhiyan. This is his dream project. Now you will ask, there is a Department of Education and why Mo School? So Department of Education, by when it takes any decision, it is a time-consuming thing, and Mo School is a society, so we are able to act very quickly. So the results you see. Now we have about 57,816 schools now in our 30 districts. And 80% of Odia children now still go to government schools. The requirements are very different. So the department cannot make one set of rules and expect that all the schools will follow that. It doesn't work that way. So 9% of our state budget is being used for education. That is 16,000 crores, which is roughly 2.1 billion US dollars. But let me tell you, it's not enough. But apart from that, money doesn't solve any problems. We need involvement. So how can one get involved? By contributing service and time, and of course, by contributing funds. So one can contribute service by teaching a class, just going to any school, not necessarily the school where you studied, but to any school and talk to the students, tell them your own story. And of course, when you contribute funds, it goes to bridge different gaps that a school might have. The best part about Mo School is the matching grant. When someone gives any money, any amount of money, the government matches it with a grant of 2x. That is, if someone is giving $100, the government will, well, it's not in dollars, it is in rupees. So if someone is giving 100 rupees, the government would give 200 rupees. So the school gets 300 rupees, and it does not go, the money doesn't go to the government or to Mo School, it goes to the particular school. So this is how you can contribute, someone can contribute funds. So one can give it to the school directly to the headmaster, and all the schools have separate bank accounts. One can also give a check to the district collector, or we can, at the state level, accept checks from anybody. Once the funds come, there is an evaluation. We want to make sure that everything is, the money that we have in our hands is good money. So there is total transparency in the whole administration of the funds. And we are audited regularly, and we make sure that everything is done in a manner that no one can point a finger at us. Things have changed. So now during COVID-19, how are we going to continue our Mo School program? The first thing that really made us glad is there is absolutely no budget cut for education. As you know, the states have really been doing a lot of things, a lot of money is being spent every single day, but there is no budget cut for education. Yes, we don't do any frivolous spending, or we think that if it is something is non-essential, we stay away from that. But when it comes to actual education, there is no budget cut. Few things that we are changing. One is, in libraries, reading rooms, how can one create social distancing? Similarly, different kind of furnitures. Many people used to contribute money so that the children can have good furnitures like desks and benches. Now we are requesting that if someone wants to give furnitures, let it be single ones so that there is a distance between the kids. Similarly, in lavatories, how social distancing can be made. And next thing is, there are online classes, and we are creating smart classrooms. Here, I just want to tell you something. All the photographs that you are seeing here were taken before pre-COVID-19 days. So you see these children sitting so close to each other, and right now there are no schools, in fact. In fact, I must tell you, the government is now thinking of having a television channel where all the classes, they will have their time when they can just watch the television, and they will see whatever the education, the classes, the history, science, math, everything is through TV only. Because in villages, internet is not always there, but TV can run on solar, and most people have TVs. Now, this is our journey so far. So we have projects, either we have completed or still going on in 10,885 schools. And as you can see, so many people have collaborated, so many students have benefited. The total fund contribution that we have received are totally 40 crores plus. And so we have a matching grant that we have given, which is 80 crores plus. So we are talking about 120 crores, more than 120 crores. Now, these are just few schools which have really benefited. This is Kannapura High School in Dhenkanal. This is Narsingaguru High School in Sambalpur. And this is in Malkangiri Pullapalli Colony School. I must tell you that before Corona started, I used to travel a lot. So I have traveled about 25 districts out of the 30 districts, seen many schools. My most favorite school is this one, this Pulapalli Colony School in Malkangiri. And I must tell you a story. So when I joined Mo School, I was told that I was given all the data, and someone came and told me that so-and-so person or so-and-so school has got this much funds. And there is this particular school which has got the lowest possible funds, that is 200 rupees. So it was in my mind, but when I went to Malkangiri, I met the district education officer. He came and told me, "Ma'am, you must have heard that apna shunithibe je sabuthu kam tanka amar district ru jaichi gote school pai." Ha jaichi. Kon heigala setu. It doesn't matter really. So he just looked at me, said, "Apana kichhi jannanti, eta bhul kotha. 200 ଟଙ୍କା ଜଣେ ଦେଇନି." ମୁଁ କହିଲି 200 ଟଙ୍କା ଦେଇନି ମାନେ କଣ? ନା 15 ଜଣ ମିଶିକିରି 200 ଟଙ୍କା ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି. Then he told me the story. So this is a school where the poorest of poor children go, but they are so regular. Every day they would go sit on the floor. They're so poor that parents cannot even give a mat to sit on the floor. So the people who were nearby, like rickshaw pullers, the hawkers, street hawkers, so they said that let us do something, let us get gote dori nei asiba e pilanka pai. Etu jai bujha bujhi kale in the market. ତ ସେ ଦେଖିଲା ଯେ ଦରିର ଦାମ ହଉଛି 600 ଟଙ୍କା. କହିଲା ଆମେ ତ ଏତେ ଆମ ପାଖରେ ଏତେ 600 ଟଙ୍କା କୁଆଡୁ ଆସିବ, ଆମେ 600 ଟଙ୍କା ଦେଇପାରିବାନି. ସେ ଜଣେ ଆସି କହିଲା ତମେ 600 ଟଙ୍କା ସିନା ଦେଇପାରିବନି, 200 ଟଙ୍କା ଦେଇପାରିବ କି? ହଁ 200 ଟଙ୍କା ଆମେ ମ୍ୟାନେଜ କରିଦବୁ. So 15 or 20 people, they gave 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15 rupees. They brought 200 rupees together. They sent it to our office. And you'll be happy to know that 400 rupees went, and a dari was purchased for 600 rupees. When I went, the children were sitting on the dari. Mate ette bhalo lagila, so I had to share with you. I know I don't have too much time, but I had to tell you this story. So if you want to know more about Mo School, you can go to our website, moschool.in, and it's still a work in progress, but I'm sure you will get your, if you have any questions or if you want to know more about it, it's all there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Suchita madam. So we will now open the floor for questions. We have a few minutes for questions. And so if you are on the Zoom, please unmute and ask, but otherwise mute, keep it mute.
ମୁଁ ବୁଦ୍ଧିନାଥ ପାଢୀ କହୁଛି. I'm an educator myself. So
please keep it
ମୋର hello.
Continue.
ମୋ କଥା ହେଲା କଣ, I think firstly Mo School ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ କହିଲେ ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି, I might have missed before, but ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ society. So how this society is different, or what kind of the objective of that is different from the traditional government and private schools which they offer for the high school? Is it supplemental education? Na kon, what they are missing in the government school that this society fills it up?
So this has got nothing to do with education. If someone tells us that amara teacher nahanti, amara class houni, we do not go there because we do not have that authority to do that. That is with Department of Education. We are basically looking at the infrastructure level, and also, we can supplement education in a different way. For example, I must give you the example of the one young collector who joined in Gajapati district. So his name is Anupam Shah. He just decided that he will take a class. So he went to a particular school and started teaching geography there. It was so successful that they started in Gajapati a volunteering class kind of a thing in different schools, and 60 people signed up. Voluntarily, they were taking 15 classes each and teaching a particular subject. So our involvement with education is limited, but mostly we take care of the infrastructural necessities that the government cannot provide, because all schools are not the same. Like in a particular school, there might be a water problem, which is different from other schools, or which is really बहुत बेसी माने समुद्र कूलर गोटे स्कूल को मु जाइथिली तांकर लुणी पानी आसुची. The government cannot take care of just one school. Whatever it does, it has to do for all the 57,000 schools. So that is the idea that was behind Mo School. And another thing is that many people wanted to get involved, and system upare semanakara bharsa hueni. So we wanted, the government wanted to create something that is absolutely transparent. So that was the idea.
Achha, so infrastructure sorry, can I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the infrastructure mane आपण तो कहले जो माने गोटे जगह रे समुद्र जोडी अछि से पाखरे नुनी पानी बाहरले, it is definitely it is dangerous to the health. हेले कोन सेही जगह माने करे आपण जाई माने कोन we are providing the fresh water there, or in addition to the education, or what is that infrastructure?
So let me answer this. So the mechanism is a mentoring and supplement to existing. So school achi, sarkar school fund karchanti, teacher achanti, class achi. But suppose you have a soft spot for a particular school, and that school has a particular problem, then you can do two things. One, you and your friends can mentor, go there and teach, as she said. Second is you can put up some amount of money, and the government is going to match it 2 times. So if you put $100, $1,000, government will give 2,000. So you have a big amount, and with that amount you can address that particular issue in that particular school. So it builds up extra infrastructure, as well as it creates a mentorship program. I mean, there are so many well of ODIs. So if all of them mentor 1 or 2 schools, then every school will be covered. So that is the idea. And the government is trying to encourage that to match by tripling the amount you put in. And
you should give your own example. I must tell you, Jennapur school boli gote achi Jajpur re. So he decided to totally revamp the library. So he gave 8 lakhs, and we matched with 16 lakhs. So the school got 24 lakhs just to revamp the library, and that library is so good. And what happens is that when you give money to a particular project, then you are also involved. So last time Chito Babu astale se kale mu tiye dekhibi, mu bohi kiniki debi. So that involvement creates a different kind of atmosphere in that school. The students are very energized. So that is the idea behind our initiative.
I think
Madam Mona.
I got no, thanks for clarifying that. Say, if I understand that, manakaro special, if you have a special place where you are, nijara ghara pakhar manakaro school achi, something is not being taken care, then you take the special care of investing in that area, doing something infrastructure to help the local place or something like that. Okay, in overall, in a broad way, I think if I understand that way.
We'll have the last question from Nalini madam. Sorry, we have to.
Na kuku kahiba ki kuku.
I'll just take 1 minute. Go ahead, Nalini pa.
हाँ आ मोर कह कथा जे आमे तो बहुत 40 वर्ष तळे पाठ पढिथिलु स्कूल रे से बर्तन आम बेले जेमती स्कूल रे छोट बेले तृतीय श्रेणी रे भी थिला जे गीत सिख सिलाई टिके सिख खेल नाच से सब रे इन्वॉल्व हे करे आम लाइफ ता जेमती गढ़ी आसला बर्तमान मु देखुचे नुआ स्कूल सिस्टम रे माने बोधे ए सिस्टम टा एते नाही उठे देचंदी हेले बर्तमान मो स्कूल प्रोग्राम रे एही जाक रखिले भलो हितांता पिला माने टिके कंसंट्रेशन टा भलो होंता बोले मु भाबुतिली एवं मो सजेशन
এটা ମୋ ସ୍କୁଲରେ ଅଛି ନଳିନୀ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ এটা ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରେ ସବୁ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉଥିପାଇଁ କହିଲି ଆପଣ ୱେବସାଇଟ କୁ ବି ଯାଇକି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ यार ସ୍କୋପ ଟା ବହୁତ ବ୍ରଡ କିନ୍ତୁ ସେଟା ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରେ ଅନ ଦ contributors ମାନେ someone who is either contributing time or contributing funds ତେଣୁ
ना ना आ लगी फंड्स एते दरकार नहीं किंतु गोटे सिस्टम पढिले सेटा पिला माने से सिस्टम रे पढिबे बोले माने आसंता पीढ़ी से माने भलरे गढी हेबे बोले भाबुची
नहीं सेट पे कहली जे सेटा पे इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी हमें बहुत चाहूछु
ओके
आपण कोंतु विल गो टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक
Sure, Chitavu, thank you. Thank you, Nani, for Miss Bagchi for joining us today, finding time and joining us today. ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଗରୁ ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସ୍ କରିଥିଲେ ଆମେ still we are waiting. We have a BOG approved to around 2.2 lakhs waiting for to go to more school project. But ଆମେ still wait କରୁଛୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସେ ଯୋଉ foreign exchange हाँ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କିଛି ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା ହେଲା ନା କଣ otherwise କେମିତି ଆମେ ସେଟାକୁ ରିଲିଜ କରିବୁ ଫଣ୍ଡ ଟାକୁ କୋଉଠି
FCRA parents ପାଇଁ any organization to be 3-year-old and we are not yet 3-year-old but we have done so well we already have got the approval to apply for FCRA which is already done so I'm still hoping that within a few months we should get it even before it is 3 years so which would be a big achievement if it is done can I finance department ame bhabithilu ei covid-19 bele se mane jo matching grant dabata band kar debe but we had our executive council meeting only few weeks couple of weeks back and everything
got in the process but if not
I think I'm pretty sure once you have that FCRA account it will be easy for us to like to motivate.
Okay, thank you guys. We'll need to stop here. Please mute. We'll go to the next topic. Thank you, Sushmita madam. Again, we'll give a round of applause. Our next topic is on the science and technology developments in Odisha, and we have the Principal Secretary of Science and Technology, Mr. Santosh Sarangi. So he is a 1994 batch IAS of Odisha cadre and has worked in various sectors like education, mining, tourism, and did his central deputation with Ministry of Commerce and Industry as Joint Secretary. After returning from central deputation, he is posted as Principal Secretary, Science and Technology. Santosh Babu, welcome. You can share your screen and make your presentation. And we will have about 4-5 minutes for your presentation. Please go ahead.
Namaskar Chitavu এবং namaskar to all the participants. I'll be making a presentation for about 5 to 6 minutes on the Institute of Mathematics and the possibility of taking it forward. I know there are a lot of people here who have been associated with setting up of this institute. And I would be looking forward to your ideas, your views on how we can take it forward. So I'll be sharing this presentation with all of you. As you can see, the Institute of Mathematics was set up with a public-private partnership along with Tata Steel. It was a joint initiative of Tata Steel and the government of Odisha. This was initially established in 1999, but with Tata Steel's cooperation, the infrastructure was developed and the campus shifted to the one in Andharua, where it has been set up on 21 acres of land, and this shifted in 2008. The idea was to make it a center of excellence which will pursue fundamental research in advanced mathematics and the applied aspects of mathematics. It was also expected to support interdisciplinary research with natural sciences and applied sciences. And it would also support research in doctoral and postdoctoral aspects. Apart from that, there were many other objectives on which I'll not take much time, but it was supposed to identify and nurture talents. It was supposed to act as a peer learning institute for other universities and colleges, and a host of other objectives. The presently it operates with about 50,000 square feet of space in Andarua, where administrative block and academic block, hostels for boys and girls are operational. Our future plan is to add a state-of-the-art library, auditorium, staff quarters, cafeteria, guest houses, etc. The estimated cost of developing all of this is about 80 crores. Presently, it is offering three kinds of courses. One is BSc in mathematics and computing, which is a 3 years course. It also offers two post-graduation level courses. One in computational finance, which is a 2-year course, and the other one is mathematics and data science. It also organizes a lot of training camps for school and college teachers and also for the students. It also has encouraged a lot of doctoral research, and postdoctoral fellows have been involved in a lot of advanced and fundamental research in mathematics and its application. And some of them have also managed to publish their reports in the international journals. It also acts as a nodal agency for offering scholarship to the PG students who are pursuing their course in basic science, and they are chosen through a kind of an entrance examination which is conducted by the Institute of Mathematics. It also conducts an exam to identify talented students who have a penchant for mathematics, who have an inclination for mathematics, under the name of Pathani Samant Ganita Medha Vritti scheme. And the identified students are then brought to IMA and are given an intensive training program during the summer months. We, as I pointed out, we have an additional requirement of nearly 80 crores, which would take care of the infrastructure, as well as our plan to start some new courses in the Institute of Mathematics. The new courses are pre-doctoral courses or MPhil courses in mathematics, diploma in data science, BSc in statistics and computing, and a certificate course in cyber security, which has assumed a lot of importance in the present day scenario. We also would require a few additional manpower, and as and when we start these courses, the process for recruiting the additional manpower will also begin. For some, the process has already begun. In terms of the way forward, we see this institute as undertaking both education as well as research in higher and advanced mathematics. All of you are familiar of the way in which the mathematics has diversified into areas of artificial intelligence, algorithms, machine learning, and also into its relationship with biology in terms of mathematical genomics and other applied aspects. So we would aspire that Institute of Mathematics in Odisha in course of time would get involved in all this cutting edge level research which is happening in the Western countries and in also some Southeast Asian countries and also China. It would also seek a development partner and to develop as a center of excellence, like we have the Science and Mathematics Education Mumbai or the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Mumbai. That would require the profiling of the existing facilities vis-a-vis the center of excellence with which we are trying to partner, and then identify short-term and medium strategies to attain those goals. We would also focus on accelerating the discovery and development of advanced mathematics through innovations in teaching methods, in variety of topics and courses. I mentioned a few of them including in advanced in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and in mathematical genomics. We also would like to develop research protocols on new modeling, simulation, data, and information tools. And this would require a lot of networking and collaboration between institutes of excellence, exchange programs, and also would require partnering with industry for private funding. The kind of initiative that Mrs. Bagchi was mentioning right now in the Mo School initiative, where a contribution by a private individual or institution is matched by government, we would also have to explore similar kind of initiatives where we are able to partner with private institutions for furtherance of this. I also know that there are some people who have an opinion that this should, in course of time, should merge with the Institute of Statistics. At some point of time, an initiative was taken in this regard, and an MOU was almost finalized in 2013, but for a variety of reasons that could not go forward. On this aspect, since I have joined only a month back, I am trying to dig into the old files and trying to find out why this was postponed. And if there is an opportunity of actually partnering with ISI or handing it over to ISI, we would seek government orders in this and see the way forward. This is all that I wanted to say, and I would like to now seek your views, opinion, and suggestions on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Santosh Babu, for a very nice introduction of the Institute of Mathematics. And I will now ask Mr. Sandeep Das Verma to say something about his involvement with Institute of Mathematics and the Rural Math Talent Search Program. And Sandeep Das Verma, Sandeep Babu is well known in the OSA community. He's a past winner of the OSA Utkal Mani Gopabandhu Award. He was also a treasurer of OSA. So Sandeep Babu, please go ahead. Santosh Babu, आपन share screen ta on बंद कर दियंतु, ताल Sandeep Babu will be in the screen.
Is the share screen still active? I thought I have closed it.
No, it is on the top. On the top.
Hello.
Is it still on?
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, Sandeep Babu, kuantu. Apan koi chalantu.
Okay. I'm thankful to OSA for giving me this opportunity. Institute of Mathematics and RMTS, they are very closely connected. RMTS is probably the most potent child of Institute of Mathematics and Applications. In early 90s, it was realized that India has directed all its talents for the last 50 years to engineering and medicine, and thus has fallen behind in pure sciences. An attempt was made for course correction at all India level to create, which ultimately resulted in 7 Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, ISAR, and then 1 NISER in Orissa, Bhubaneswar. Orissa government created in 1999 an unique institute, IMA, to research and nurture talents. Subsequently, in 2006, it started teaching BSc honors courses in mathematics and computing, and which Mr. Sarangi has already described in more detail. So I'll skip it. And they put one of the most passionate teachers of mathematics, Dr. Swadhinanda Patnaik, as its director. The result has been phenomenal success. More than 50% of the total students they went ahead and went to PhD in various universities of India and abroad. We have just started preparing a list of the alumni of IMA and those who have come under influence of Dr. Patnaik, which they have the list I have collected so far has more than 50 PhDs in mathematics in various universities of Orissa and also abroad. We believe the actual number will well surpass 100, and we are getting more information. We have also started finding out about the alumni of RMTS. Many of the mathematical science students of IMA have done wonders in industry also. The sensation was when 2008 topper, one Deepak Sahu from Kalahandi district got a starting salary of 10 lakhs, and then that was a princely sum. So industry has realized also and recruited many of the students from IMA in really responsible and good positions. Additionally, the thing which we aimed and we observe has happened is 50% or more of students are actually from disadvantaged classes like Adivasis and Harijans, which they are supposed to be not good at math. Same with women. I remember I was yesterday talking to somebody. I remember when my sisters went to school, they were given something known as domestic science because girls are not supposed to be good at math. And so it was totally, they were not taught math. And so we have come a lot of distance here. And mathematics is now, girls are doing equally or better in math than boys. In fact, I had an unique experience. I went to NIT Rourkela in 2015, and the then director, Dr. Sadangi, told me to give away the prizes the previous evening. So to my utter surprise, in our time, there were 3 girls in 500 boys in the school. But here, and they were all, on the bottom of the class. In, this particular occasion, all the 5 gold medals that were awarded went to girls. So this is a unique thing, and that has changed because of the work that was silently being done. 3 years back, there was an average all India test was done, what different kids are doing in different states. Orissa actually came out better than average, national average. We started this actually in a peculiar way, because I went to Swadhin, the then director, that, I want to institute a scholarship in the name of my father. And he said he can only accept my proposal if I agree to his analysis and accordingly award the scholarship. The analysis was Orissa is 90% rural and 10% urban. So with the urban, we were urban centric, conduct of your examinations to select kids for math Olympiad and things like that. We are losing out 90% of the talents. I agreed with his analysis and we started the scholarship program with the first 30 scholarships.
Sandeep Babu, upon conclude karantu, we'll get to the students. Upon tika sardiyantu. We're running out of time.
Okay.
We are running out of time. So.
Okay. So,
sorry to interrupt again. We have only 14 minutes. In fact, we have to close it. Absolutely close this one. This seminar.
Yeah, no, 14 minutes for another. There is another topic. So
Yes.
This topic will be 5 minutes more.
Yes.
Okay. So on popular demand, this was actually expanded. We started giving 200 scholarships because of interest in OSA. People like Dr. Srigopal Mohanty and Dr. Mansingh, everybody pitched in, a lot of others also pitched in, and we gave 200 scholarships. And
okay, thank you, Sandeep Babu. We will go to Karthik Sahu, one of the students, to talk about his experience for a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
We will. I'll just say announce. We will be creating a group for this, and this needs a lot more time. So, jadi we take shortcut karuchu is because of the time limits. So, Karthik, Sandeep Babu will come back after Karthik.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Cool.
Okay. The thing is, I just keep my things too much short. I have been there from 2008 to last couple of months. Like the institute is in my village, you can say. So I have been pointed out some points that I want to convey to Sarangi sir. Like recently they have started a program in MSc in data science with mathematics and data science, and the program cost is very much like 3 lakhs in whole total. But the thing is, there is no placement cell which can be actually give helpful after 2 years of the completion of the program. They are not thinking before this course. They are not thinking about how the data science people are going to place after the course. Because I am working on data science and I know the importance how and the opportunity that is going to come. But for this, they need to have a placement cell in IMA. And when I talked about it to the current director, he did not he did not answer me anything properly about the placement cell, how the students are going to.
So this is a good point, and as I said, we will have a longer discussion on this Institute of Mathematics, which will be like a couple of hours. So today was just a starting point of seeing the interest, and there seems to be a lot of interest. So in probably another 2 weeks, we will have that meeting with a longer time period. Santosh Babu, we can discuss in more details. So thank you. Santosh Babu, jodi apanଙ୍କର quick remark ଅଛି ଆପଣ ଦେଇପାରନ୍ତି.
Actually had people.
There are some more points that I can share there that time.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
RMTS to end. RMTS here is also Himalaya Senapati.
Himalaya, you can say a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Himalaya, you are there? Yes.
I'm Himalaya Senapati. In fact, I was in the first batch of RMTS, and it was like really like helpful for me. When I got access to advanced mathematics education because of like Swadhin sir and Chandrakeshwar sir and like Sandeep Dasbama, he was also one of the he gave me the first scholarship of my life, and yeah. So but the situation because of that initial program.
Thank you, Himalaya. I'm going to acknowledge Swadhin Babu was here. Is he here?
Yes, he's here. I can see.
Yeah, he was the founder, director, and he really built up this. And as I said, we are kind of running out of time. I should have scheduled less. And so we will be having a follow-up on this Institute of Mathematics. And I will store all the names. We will have a longer program in 2 weeks. So where we can discuss in more details. And I also acknowledge Lalu Mansingh, Professor Lalu Mansingh. Lalu Babu, apana got a minute quickly if you want to add.
Okay. Since I have only 1 minute, I'll speak fast. First of all, I don't think the picture of the Institute of Mathematics is rosy at all. You can see from the faculty size, there are currently two faculty members, and there are plans to get 8. In a common, typical, I'm in a university which is not a wealthy university, it's a provincial one, university in Ontario, Canada. It's a small one. And it has you need at least 15 to 20 faculty members to have a viable group that interact with each other. It's not like appointment to the faculty is an opportunity for collaboration, and you need a minimum size. So think of this as probably our goal should be to get 15 to 20 faculty members in the future at some this thing. And plus we need to do something more even when we discover somebody outstanding. For example, last week there was a news report that in Raigada, there is a 7-year-old boy who is intensely interested in astronomy and astrophysics. His name is Vibhu Nandan Nath. At 7 years, he wants to go, he knows everything about the astronomy and he wants to go work for NASA, want to do research in astronomy. For brilliant people like that, the government should have some plan to, as soon as they're recognized, to take interest in them, to nurture them, so that they do not become ignored, like our mathematical genius, who was discovered by an Englishman late in his life. Should have yes. Okay, thank you.
Santosh Babu, please, I hope you will agree that we can have a longer meeting. You can see so much interest and passion there. I feel really bad to stop people, but we have one more topic. We have 10 minutes, 7 minutes actually. So Santosh Babu, please, we'll have a longer meeting, 2-3 hours, where we can discuss this in more details. Thank you.
Sure. I'll be looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you all. We'll move to the third topic. This is a topic, recently proposed idea of a museum of scriptures in Puri by a Puri lover and someone from Puri, Navketan Mahanti. So Navketan, please present. You share the screen and make your presentation if you have a PowerPoint.
Please
let me share the screen. Where is this?
Share screen is in the bottom.
On the bottom.
Yep.
Yes, we can see it.
You can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, नमस्कार मो ना नवकेतन महांती पुरी रे घर बर्तमान फिनिक्स रे रहउची हमें किछि दिन तळे किछि जण एठी गोटे म्यूजियम विषय रे पुरी रे डिस्कशन करियो आरंभ करछु आ सेरा इट हैज टू बी ए बिग म्यूजियम लाइक ए वर्ल्ड क्लास म्यूजियम एंड से म्यूजियम रे तीनटा सेक्शन रहइबो गोटे सेक्शन होई लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ को ऊपर गोटे सेक्शन होची अबाउट द heritage of Odisha, and the third section, which is the most important, which I'm going to talk right now, is about the scriptures, the ancient scriptures of Odisha, the Vedas, the Upanishad, and the Bhagavad Gita. And we are right now calling it as Museum of Scriptures. In fact, ମୁଁ କେଜଣ संगे ए विषय टिके कथार्थ हेली पचारली म्यूजियम ऑफ स्क्रिप्चर टा पूरे हेले केंति होंता, and believe me, without even knowing anything about the museum, what will be inside, everybody started saying, yeah, it is a great idea, it should be there. And I was a little bit surprised, and two questions came into my mind. One is it a real viable thing to have a scripture, a museum of scriptures? Because scriptures, as we know, are like internal things. We feel it inside, experience it. A museum is an outside thing, right? So can they just coexist together? And I asked this question to one of the big renowned yogi and sadhak, and he said, yeah, it's possible, why not? The second question that I had was, why all these people, like they are like very common like me, maybe like you, some of you, like we don't know anything about the scriptures, and our number is very high, like in millions, of course. And why suddenly, without even knowing what it is, they just said, yeah, it's a good idea. So I analyzed, and I'm pretty sure about it. Something inside us, hidden, and is really interested. I mean, we are interested to know about this, our scriptures, and that desire, that urge is hidden in us, and we want to know about it in a very simplified format. And obviously, it's a desire for many people, so it's definitely a problem. There is a need. There is no such avenues, so it's a problem. But again, there are so many problems in the world, right? Whether how big is this problem? So I started really thinking about it again, right? So these scriptures, actually, can connect us to a very high thinking. That's the power of it, right? You may get connected to it through any means, maybe reading, maybe writing, maybe listening, but this is another means to get connected to that through, through our sensors, sensual, touching, feeling, and seeing. So anytime we get connected to it, we get elevated. And this elevation can diminish the divisions that we carry in us, the discriminations, the divisions that are. And it is going to, I'm talking about the people, not like in hundreds and thousands, like in millions, right? So this Museum of Scripture really started making sense to me. Let me move forward and start answering quick questions. How and what? This mission is about why, but this is the mission of the bigger museum that I said, 3 museums, but main objective is about, but I'm now focused on the scriptures part, right? So the main thing about this is, like I said, bring down the high knowledge in a format so that the millions, I mean, talking about million people, general people can understand it, can grasp it. And how to do it, sorry, what to do. This is what the scripture or the museum is, the 3 museum that I talked, but I'm talking about this scripture one. And then I move on. So this is a very interesting slide. I mean, this is going to the future of Puri, and around the temple, there'll be 4 Jagya sections. And we don't think there is any better place than this Jagya, Jnana Jagya, to have this thing, which can, about the common man to be available. So near to Jagannath temple is the right place. So the target audience, like I said, it's all about the general publics. The number goes on and on. I don't want to go that deep. But right now, let me come back to a very interesting thing about how, which is education, how to do it. 2 things. One is content. We have to get those contents that are to be available to the people. Second thing is how to present that content, the presentation. Those 2 things are needed and will be our focus. I'm talking about how the education part. So the research. The research is what will bring, get us there. So next is, we talked about, I'm saying we because it's a very small team that we have in Phoenix. I'm talking about them. We. So this is a 2-step approach that we have thought about. We start with the virtual museum that should go into a physical museum.
Bedroom.
Okay. Next is, we have come up with a framework. We're calling it Inspired Framework. It can be a guideline for execution. We discussed so many things about how this museum will be. These are some examples. I'm not going that detail into it. And finally, just to conclude, what we want from you, why I'm here. This is a very small team we are, but we want to grow. We have to make it happen with a big team, right? It has to grow. So join the team. We want to make a proposal to the government of Orissa. Be part of that proposal. We have a survey. This is the link, and maybe we will get an email and just go into that. Have some few minutes to answer that survey. That will really help us to achieve that big dream. Of course, this is an email address, very easy to remember. Museum of email. Send your comments and all these things. This is indeed a very, very tough task, not done yet, very difficult task, but it is doable. And we have to do it, I think. And all can be done with if the God touch is there. So I believe in it. We believe in it. Let's believe in it. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your time, for your this opportunity. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you, Navketan. So we have 1 minute. I just want to add one point to this presentation. So in a virtual museum, imagine Rath Yatra is held once a year, but say you are visiting Puri some other time. Now, a virtual museum, you put up your thing on the glass in your eyes, and you feel as if you are part of the Rath Yatra. So all kinds of interesting things can be done in Puri related to what the infrastructure that we have in Puri, the essence of Puri. And that is the idea, main idea behind what Navketan is proposing. And I have told that the government of Orissa has also a great plan for Puri. So somehow we were hoping that this will somehow get integrated into that. So with that, we are going to end this session. I always want to end in time. So Anil, we are ending at 8:59. Thank you all, and we'll move on to the next program which is very much related to Odisha development, onto Odisha higher education.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chito bhai.
First one to end in time, right?
Right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody in the Odisha Development Day. And now we will switch over to the next seminar with the digital format. It is really making us stay on time. And Chito bhai, I really appreciate getting it finished. And the higher education seminar, the next one, will be chaired by Dr. Durga Misra. Mo request karbi Durga bhai, please.
नमस्कार मोते मो स्लाइड बर्तन शेयर करली आपण देखि परछन तो
आज्ञा we can.
Okay,
नवकेतन तुम स्लाइड बंद करो, नवकेतन शेयर टा बंद करो.
Oh, sorry.
Slide to see Aurobindo Misra.
Okay, now we can see. I'm sorry.
Now we can see it. I would like to invite Coco there. Coco, could you please invite our guests? All of them have joined. So then I will go from there.
Hi. I'm so thankful to all of you to find time and join over here. Welcome to our OSA Higher Education Seminar. I welcome you all.
Okay, I will just go to this, and we have first we'll have Professor Das, Ashok Das, to give a guest speaker. He will be the guest speaker, so he will give the talk first, then followed by we have a panel, and in that panel we will have 4 distinguished professors, and one is Professor Deepak Behra from Sambalpur University, and Professor Damodar Acharya from OSA University, and Professor Soumedra Patnaik from Utkal University. They are the vice chancellors. So, and also Professor Chitto Baral from here. He has been involved in higher education for quite some time, so we'll listen from them. But I have one more slide I would like to mention about this. The topic today is how to improve the ranking of the University of Odisha and how the OSA community can help. So this is mostly ranking the different points they are actually teaching and learning resources. So there actually we can talk about the international faculty and student exchange. There are many things the university can do, but we can contribute to that one. So that's why I outlined this topic. Then the research and professional practice, that is also possible research collaboration and with international and internationals, how we can facilitate that one. And obviously graduation outcome is out there, university to look at. The outreach and industry is another thing that we see. We have a lot of people working in industry, those who are in India and here, and the alumni network. So I do not know how the universities in Odisha is expanding. Almost everybody sitting in the United States is part of those network, alumni network of Utkal University, Sambalpur University, Aravinda University. And so that will be a good thing. And then another thing is perception. We have been creating fantastic education system in Odisha, but that has to be very loudly broadcasted all over the country as well as internationally. So there actually, these are some of the points that I think. And now I will stop sharing and ask Ashok, Professor Das, Ashok Das, if he can share his screen, and if he wants to make a presentation, I will welcome Professor Das to speak.
A very good day to all of you, and of course, a very good July 4th for you. It's am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Now it is very good of OSA to have taken a topic, so specific a topic, which is state university. I'll confine to state universities, but by and large, how to get a good rank in the national ranking framework. So I will confine myself to specifically to this. And I think Durga Babu has done a little help by describing the NIRF criteria in a manner. So we will look at where are we today and where we must, where the government is thinking that it should be able to go. And we'll also come to possible intervention points where we would need OSA. Now, as Durga Babu has outline, we did not discuss anything further. But basically, there are three major ranking. NBA is not of importance here, it is for engineering. And so we have NAC, which is a 70% quantitative and 30% process ranking on 7 criteria. And then, of course, NIRF, which is now the funding, the ranking decides your funding. And so it is a composite criteria with 5 quantitative criteria. And of course, I have made a cross at Times World University because it is highly research dominated and research revenue dominant, and of course, reputation dominant. And most of the state universities wouldn't even qualify. So we are not looking at it today. We are looking at NIRF. Now, sample universities, you see, I have taken just 4 universities just to have a background. You see, Utkal, Ravansa, Sambalpur, and Barampur, they are the universities in classical mold. And they have, all 4 of them have a good NAC rating. In NIRF, Utkal has just managed to get in at the 96th rank with a score of 40 out of 100. The score is not so good. And Ravansa has not come into 200. Sambalpur is between 100 to 150. And I think Barampur is 151 to 200. The basic idea is why we are talking about state universities. They teach 90% of the students. They look at meritorious and poor students. And those universities are still producing excellent students whom all of you must be seeing abroad. We see in the mission departments like Atomic Energy, Space, or DRDO. And these universities fundamentally produce excellent students, but they have not been making grades in the ranking scheme. Now we look at this. Why? So this is the basic ranking scheme which Durga Babu showed. And I have seen the 4 universities and where they stand. Some of the figures are kind of approximate. The black color ones are the ones which are existing today. And we expect, we in Odisha are planning to go in next 4 years, most of them to stay within the 50 rank. I have just given within 20. But if you secure somewhere around 60, 65 out of 100, you get. Now, if you look at this, you will find we are worst in research and professional practice. Most of the universities are scoring something around 10, 11, 10, 11, 12. And basically because these are universities with humanities, social sciences, and most of them do not go to the index, Web of Science Index or Scopus Index. They do not go to Thomson Reuters. They write books. And they write books, and those books are well written, but they do not go through the process. So research needs to be looked at. Then teaching, learning, and resource generation is the second most important part. Teaching, learning, probably the government of Odisha is now moving towards forcing the universities to quickly fill their posts. But there is a case to be made that the sanctioned posts are not enough, because the faculty-student ratio that is today, the student faculty, we are somewhere around 25 to 31, 32, whereas the target is we must have 15 to 20 students maximum per faculty. And that is a difficult task. We may need about some means. We may make a plan of having at least for university 50 to 100 faculty more. And we are thinking of ways and means of doing that. Then patents. Most of the universities have 0 patents or maybe 1. Consultancy, the classical universities do not do. The graduate outcome, apart from what Durga Babu projected, the graduate outcome also involves the number of PhD students that are enrolled and that are graduating. Somehow or other, because of the UGC regulatory mechanism and lack of faculty, the PhD graduation rate has drastically come down to about between 80 to 100 per year. Unless this, you compare this with a state university like Pune University or a central university like Central University of Hyderabad, or even the Jadavpur University. there it would be in the range of 300 to 400. The most worrying pattern which government is worrying now, but we are thinking very seriously, is the resource generation. You see Pune University, for example, the expenditure per student per annum is somewhere around 5 to 8 lakhs rupees. In Utkal, Sambalpur, Barampur, the government expenditure per student is somewhere between 60 to 80,000 per student. So you see the difference. The difference is, if I need to take them to a higher NIRF ranking, then I need to take them to somewhere around another 200 crore in terms of revenue per year. And they should be in contents, not infrastructure. It is very easy to develop infrastructure, very easy to convince a government about infrastructure, but to convince the government about content, the arguments must be very good. The other most important factor is the peer perception. Very rightly said, we must develop peer perception, and in all these three areas, we need to bring in OSA, and if OSA and its members get in, because a lot of them are alumni, what we are suggesting that every university makes an alumni group or a OSA advisory group, including academics, industry, and administrator, to develop a strategic development plan for 10 years. All activities to be channelized through them, and if OSA fixes, the group fixes a timeline. 3 subgroups work on this. Corpus building group, money is obviously one part, active collaborating and monitoring group, and we need also interlocutors, motivators, who would be able to react with the government, because there is a big push. You see, the issue is very simple. The issue is, if we need to go to NIRF rank 2, which is called 20, which is the institutes of eminence, we need to have a big push. And we need to work on a partnership model with patience, trust, and non-judgmental. I put this because very often when you work in Odisha, you must be finding that you will lose patience, you will have less of trust, and so that becomes very important, that we have patience. So it is very obvious, but what we propose and at council level and government level will try to facilitate is joint research programs for international and national projects, scholars for residence program. We can suggest share PhD students, both science and social science and languages. The government of Odisha has taken a large number of steps. It has a research incentivization program where it funds about more than 200 faculty and students, and 20 odd centers of excellence in various areas have been opened at the university. We are inviting, please get associated as mentors and contributors. Then assist in setting up an IPR cell. Then mentor the incubators and industry contacts from industry members of OSA. And of course, help us in resource generation. And this can be done, both can be through remote and physically participatory model. Then in training and learning, teaching and learning, training programs can be set up, training programs in skill and core, joint diplomas. You can develop MOOC courses aimed at our students. You can place few summer trainees. Internationalization would happen there. Assist in faculty and student exchange. Get attached to our universities as adjunct faculty, faculty in residence, and of course, we are today aiming to create a corpus of at least 100 crore for each university, which would be administered through a registered alumni association to inject at the rate of 7 to 8 crores per annum. Then in alumni advisory group, we need great help in a brand peer perception. You will find that all Odisha institutes are 30, 35 out of 100 in terms of peer perception. So this needs to be improved through, because by and large, I see OSA members very easily going to an IIT and funding and giving a good grade than going to a state university. In fact, I have been breaking my head with OSA members to do something here at Utkal. But it is understandable that IITs have a brand. Governance, the problem, the moot core problem in Odisha universities is they are still being run manually, where a file moves 20 steps up and 20 steps down to make a decision. This has to go. You can look at enriching the library resources. You can guide the university in running entrepreneurship and incubators, and of course the campus life, and connect with institutions of eminence around and across the globe. So by and large, this is some few of the points that I made. There was 10 minutes. I just compressed it into specific points. And instead of philosophizing, I have put now you can open it to discussion. And we have very eminent panel members. And I have been interacting with Ajay Babu regarding building a alumni group at Utkal University, where most of these activities can actually be implemented. We can act, I can probably facilitate if you want something, and you are in, we can have further discussion. We would welcome OSA to come with concrete proposals. Any of these, we have analyzed, I have personally analyzed the NIRF, and I would assure you contribution into any of these will help us to get rise up in the NIRF ranking, which happens to become very important today. Though I may not personally agree with the NIRF ranking philosophy, but it is there and we need to crack it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Das. And I think I will now give it to Dr. Roger Mohanty to adjust the panel. We will have a question and answer session after the panel members speak for a few minutes. Then we will, that actually we have extended time, so we will have discussion there. Dr. Mohanty, can you invite the panelists and let them speak? Professor Das, can you on-share your screen?
Okay. I think I have unshared that.
No, it's still there.
Still.
Anil, if you can help.
Okay, so
I think on the top it will be there.
You have to go to the top, yes, and then there is a red button there on leave share or whatever.
Okay, done it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Roger Mohanty, thank you, Professor Das, for giving a very inspiring talk. I've been interacting with him for some time. We now invite Professor Deepak Behera, Vice Chancellor of Sambalpur University. It's not by sheer chance, he was also VC at Berhampur University, and for the NAAC ranking, A ranking for Berhampur University, I am told that he was responsible for taking a lot of action, and we would love to hear from him what his plans are to do for Sambalpur University. With that, I give it to Professor Deepak Behera.
Okay, thank you very much. I am using different, it's in my friend's name, Arun Basa. So thank you very much. And I would like to take up from where Professor Osak Das left. So how to, I would like to divide my presentation into two parts. How to improve the ranking of the University of Odisha. So you'll be interested to know how many universities are there in Odisha. So total number of universities in Odisha is 33, and there are 21 state university, state-funded university. Out of that, 14 are under higher education department. There are 11 private university, and there is one central university that is located in Koraput. And total number of degree colleges is 1,046. Out of 1,046, government college number is 53, added 558, and unaided 224, self-financing 211. So why I'm giving these statistics, you should have an idea about the education scenario in Odisha And there are, lot many challenges. One challenge is how to improve the ranking of universities in Odisha. Many posts are laying vacant, and there are also not only teaching position, non-teaching position. So we have to also do infrastructure development, and the other scope is there. That is how we increase the level of research collaboration with advanced country. Maybe university in where OSA can play a very important role, and we have to do also research in the area of current trends for increased citation. Citation, Professor Das rightly pointed out, it is not very encouraging. We have to improve our citation, and that is why we have to do research in the current trends, and that has to be taken up. And probably there is a need to establish a incubation center for innovation and entrepreneurship. And again, there OSA can play a very important role. It can facilitate maybe some of the university. So to begin with, OSA can think of 2-3 university. Professor Das pointed out 4 university, Utkal being the oldest, and then the next 2 older university, Barampur and Sambalpur, and Revensa. It's a very old university with its glorious past, although it was a college. So these 4 university can be thought of, and so at a time we can't, improve the ranking of all the university in the state. So 3-4 university can be taken up, and these university have all the potential, as pointed out by Professor Das. And again, interdisciplinary efforts should be taken up for consultancy project from industry, government, and NGOs. That is one area where we are lacking. There is hardly any consultancy project in state university in Odisha, and we don't have many industry-oriented online courses such as digital marketing, education technology, data analytics, cyber security. Those should be taken up in collaboration with industrial partner. That is one area where we are lacking, and lacking considerably. And also, OSA can help us in the exchange program, teachers and scholar exchange program with leading overseas university in the United States. And that is one area. And different, there are different fellowship like Fulbright fellowship, Nehru fellowship. So those kind of fellowship, if they can link our scholar and university faculty with US university, then that would be extremely good. And probably we have to.
Mr. Beda, we
Yeah.
have got 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, I will complete within 2 minutes, sir. Yeah. So, so you select some lead university, and maybe you can think of establishing chair. I said about 4 university, and chair maybe in science, social science, and management, commerce. So that is what OSA can think of. And you can institute some fellowship, to promote research in different localities, including backward regions as part of the inclusive education. And probably OSA can online lectures in universities. So all head of the institution will cooperate with OSA. That would be interesting, and they should participate in various alumni activities of different university. They can be, there are members in OSA. They can be active. They can participate actively, and that is one area where actually they can contribute. And probably we have to think of also research publication where some guidance can be given. Guidance can be given not by the member, maybe by scientists who are there in United States. Such program can be organized, like online lectures can be organized, taking the help of technical expert, academic counselor, and again also, you can help this poor university in creating some, like some seed money for the infrastructure development. And these are, how to improve also the teaching quality. Those things can be taken up by OSA, and I think less number of, as I said, one important area is create new courses with indigenous knowledge to attract foreign students. That is how we can also attract foreign students, and you can also encourage overseas students to come to this poor university and undertake different courses, so which would be interesting.
I apologize, Professor Behra.
I think these are some areas.
Thank you.
I think if we keep on organizing many workshop like this, our ideas will be refined, and where we can have more meaningful cooperation and collaboration. And I invite members of OSA to come to Sambalpur University and see our potential, and accordingly we can plan. Thank you very much.
We are really planning for similar Zoom conferences, at least in the next 2 weeks. I have discussed this with Professor Ashok Das. Thank you very much for a wonderful talk.
Thank you very much.
We move on to the next speaker, Professor Damodar Acharya. He is one of the executive members of the board for SOA University. I think there is some. Can you please take out?
Yeah, please go ahead and unmute yourself. Professor Acharya, please unmute. Yes.
And SOA University is one of the best ranked universities in the top 20 in the country in the NIRF ranking. Would love to hear from Professor Acharya what they are doing good and how we can learn lessons from them for the other universities. Go ahead, Professor Damodar Acharya. Is there?
Yes, yes.
Professor Acharya, we are seeing your desktop. आपण share करछन्ती वर्तमान.
Yeah.
Something went wrong in my side.
No. You just have to go. Probably you're trying to present the PowerPoint. I can see the PowerPoint logo there. So you press karantu.
On the bottom. On the bottom.
On the bottom.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one. That
yep.
one.
Yeah. If you just
see the PowerPoint.
No. If you just press that logo there directly, just press the logo. Yeah. Got it. We got it here.
It's working. So now you can talk about.
No, the logo पर आउ press करंतु नहीं. थोड़े press कला पर आसला पर आउ तो press करंतु. Yes.
I will not really use the PowerPoint. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Can you unshare then? Otherwise, 8 app अपन को पूरा talk रह in the YouTube.
अपन से full screen
ऊपर को जिबे ऊपर नहीं सेठी नुह अपन screen रो ऊपर को जानतु पूरा ऊपर को जानतु. And then the stop sharing. There is a red button there. Stop sharing. Can you please press that? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
अपन कुआंतु.
A very good morning to all of you, and a very good evening to my friends from India. I will just like to focus on a couple of points. That is most of the jobs, actually, whatever I wanted to present, that has been already presented by Professor Misra and Professor Das. I will not really go into those aspects. But one thing that I would like to focus, that if you see our universities, like let us say Utkal University, that is one of the oldest university, 16th in number. so far as age is concerned, we are a very old university. Compared to us, Jadavpur is actually a comparatively younger university. And this is the university also which has got all other disciplines. But in every aspect, actually, they are better off. We have to really think of in that situation. I'm not just talking of engineering. They are also equally good in economics. They are equally good in social science and other things. And they are in fact number 5. We have to really think of what could be done. They have all the problems, whatever that we have. Resource constraint. They have also the politics, political interference, all types of problems they have, and disturbances also. Possibly some sort of thinking is required that why they are able to do better and why we are not able to do better. On 2 scores, actually, we are really not able to perform that well. First is actually our teaching learning resource. In teaching learning resource, we are not able to score much. We have to be really very, very careful about that. And when we are really talking of teaching learning resource, many times actually we are focusing on that we do not have the infrastructure. Infrastructure actually is not carrying any weightage in NIRF ranking. And today what is actually required is in the infrastructure, instead of physical infrastructure, we must have digital infrastructure. Our digital infrastructure is definitely to be improved, and that must be our focus, not actually having some fancy building. This is the other part. What is important is in teaching learning resource, most important thing is that we do not have many faculty. Unless actually you have good faculty to student to faculty ratio, it is not really going to work. That is actually carrying a lot of importance. So we must take up this thing that we have to have good number of faculty and practically in every department and good faculty. One more thing what is actually happening is we are not filling up our posts regularly. Once in a while we wake up and say that we'll take 100 or 200 faculty. In that situation, you will get only the left out fellows. Faculty has to be, recruitment has to be a continuous process. This is actually another point which I would like to focus, if at all we have to go up in the rank. Now the other important thing which I'd like to say is, so far as our research thing is concerned, every institution, whether it is IIT or any other IIT, they perform well in research only based on their science output. We have all science departments on these universities. We have to really think of that how we can improve the research output so far as the science faculty is concerned. That is very, very important. And in that situation, in fact, in my own university, that is SOA University, we are giving a lot of focus on the science-based research. And therefore, actually, we are able to score better. We have faculty, student to faculty ratio very favorable. We have actually something like 9.5 student per faculty. So this actually makes all the difference. Plus our other things, aspects, for example, our the research output or patent output, all these things are pretty good. That's why we have been in a position to be there in number 20 in NIRF. And apart from this, we have got one more thing. That is, we have large number of 300 foreign students with us. Government of India is having a program, Study India program. And all our universities who are having, say, 3.3 onwards at the actually NAC ranking, they can definitely take foreign students. definitely Utkal University can take. So why are we not really taking that part? That way also our inclusivity and that thing actually will improve.
Professor Acharya, I am sorry to interrupt, but you got 1 or 2 minutes to finish.
Okay, so these are actually a couple of things which have done. So far as the OSA thing is concerned, the very important way how OSA can involve, I am not talking about the money, etc. Definitely they can guide this university academically. Maybe our faculty or OSA faculty, they can be working as a sort of adjunct professor, or they can guide it, they can really become the joint guide, spend some time here. If any faculty spends something like, say, a semester, these actually counted as a faculty here in the parent university. So that sort of thing is possible. But what is more important is, if joint research is there, that is along with our faculty, if the faculty from OSA, they could become joint guide, then the quality of publications will go up. Our visibility will be better. So this will be one part, and definitely the OSA faculty can take, courses jointly, and even those who are in professional, there is a scope that we can have professionals also as professor, but there will be practice professors. That is, in any course, certain portion actually they can take and they can become a practice professor. So this is also, if we do it, things will be much better. These are some of the things which could be done very easily, and I believe our friends from OSA, they will really help in our universities to come up. But it is not going to be a one-day's affair. It will take time. So maybe if we take one by one university and take it up seriously, things will be better rather than really, diffusing our energy to too many things.
Thank you very much.
Why is he crying?
Thank you very much, Professor Acharya. We need to move on and we'll leave the last 5-10 minutes for questions. Professor Samya Patnaik, is he there from Utkal University, Vice Chancellor?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, clearly.
Yes. Good morning, everybody, and all my friends from overseas. My colleagues have already said what is aspirational and what Odisha should do in collaboration with OSA. I will just present my ideas in 4 minutes into 2 parts, or rather 3 parts. Part 1, what are the challenges we are facing here as a public university? Second, what we have done so far to build up a new future. And third, how we can connect OSA and the public universities in Odisha. As all of you know, that the challenges faced by the public universities mainly revolved around the question of
Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself, sir. Please mute yourself.
I think the first challenge faced by the public university is that we are facing the issue of number. The large number, we have to handle it. Large diversity, and therefore we have to deal with the question of excellence and equity. It's excellence through inclusion. And therefore, the spaces are not mere competitive spaces, but they are also enabling spaces.
4 minutes 3 part re kahibo si 4 minutes re
I may take even 3 minutes also.
Minutes in 3 parts.
Oh yes, I will take even 3 minutes.
3 parts.
Somebody is saying, I think I am getting a little disturbed.
Yeah, somebody logged on as Himangshu. Himangshu Babu, please
Mute your microphone. We can hear you properly.
Unmute karantu. I will just take 2 minutes, 2 more minutes. Number
Okay,
one,
okay.
this whole issue of diversity, we have to handle because we are creating enabling spaces. Most of the students are first generation education availing people. We need to repair, rebuild, and not necessarily go for a replacement or grafting. We all know public universities, the second part, we all know the public universities are characterized by physical, digital, intellectual, and emotional infrastructure. Utkal University has a very strong emotional and intellectual infrastructure, but the digital and physical is still to come. Third part, what we have done? We have done in terms of creating interdisciplinary centers in public policy, governance, climate change, Northeast India studies, language, literature, culture, and these are all to demystify the in-silo existence of the disciplines. And therefore, there are 2 campuses. One is the Vani Vihar campus, and the other one is the newly established Chandikhol campus. Chandikhol campus emphasizes on the skill, industry connect. It emphasizes on entrepreneurship. We also have an Utkal Entrepreneurship and Innovation Hub under RUSA, and that helps us in connecting with the industry, hand-holding, and innovations. And finally, we have created an Utkal International Office, and through that international office, we are connecting to international visitors, and those international visitors can come and stay during summer vacation, during winter vacation, and get connected to our students. So our students get a bridge, and the new leadership and new aspirational class is built. The students start thinking that yes, we can, because of connection with OSA, because of overseas connection. And this is where we have to work on. We have to create a sense of aspiration, the capacity to aspire. Our youth and our new generation has to develop that capacity to aspire, the way McClelland has said that for an economic development of a country, a strong motivational wave is essential 50 years before. Why can't we plan 15 years from now, when Odisha celebrates 100 years in 2036, OSA and Utkal and the higher education leaders of Odisha can plan out something for coming 15 years, so that the future comes into today, tomorrow comes into today, we feel it, and we create new waves of aspirations. And through international office, we have signed 2 MOUs, one with University of Boston, Northeastern University, and the other one is University of Berkeley, California. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Patnaik. Excellent talk. Very delighted to know that there is an international office for exchange programs. And we now would move on to the next speaker, Professor Chitta Baral from Arizona University. He has been instrumental in, steering a lot of efforts for bringing IIT Niger to our own state, and he is a very passionate advocate for education. So with this, I would invite Professor Chitta Baral to speak a few words.
Thank you, Javed. Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can. Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So Ashok Babu in the beginning gave a very good comprehensive idea and the goal of at least making 4 of our universities ranked. So and some of the other speakers mentioned we can look at the NERF ranking and see and compare ourselves with some of the ones which are much higher than us but have similar financial situation, like Assam University is there, Jammu and Kashmir universities, and these are not central universities. There are many state universities which have much higher ranking, top 30, top 50 ranking, you can see. So here I would like to say that we should borrow some idea from China on how they achieved better ranking of their global ranking, not just in China. What they did is they actually consolidated several institutes, several universities to a single one. So for example, so I think we should do that. Universities should be comprehensive. We should not, and wherever there is opportunity, and this 4 we have opportunity. For example, Utkal. So there is a College of Engineering and Technology right there. So it's a unit of BEPUT, but that can be part of Utkal, and that will strengthen Utkal. Similarly, say Sambalpur, I was thinking of a center of basic sciences. Barampur, there is Pala Maharaj Engineering College, MKCG Medical College. The idea is Barampur University at the university level should have these three things, should have what is there. There should be the medical college, there should be the engineering college, and all these will add to your ranking. And that is what China has done. If you look at the history, I can find you documents where they have consolidated 3-4 different institutes, universities to a more comprehensive university. And these universities have now ranks of like top 30, top 50 in the world. And we have an opportunity. Before, we have bifurcated many things, which has served some purpose, but there are some opportunities still there where we can consolidate. And especially I can see like in Sambalpur, we have made many universities, so that will be a little difficult. So we have to start with a new center. But in Utkal, Berhampur and Revensa, we have actually opportunities which can be easily collaborative. Like we can take these things, put them and make them as component of Utkal, like real components of Utkal. So when we say Utkal, we should mean that CET is part of Utkal. The Engineering College of Utkal is College of Engineering and Technology. It means you go to Osmania, there's a College of Engineering of Osmania University. But we don't have a College of Engineering. We don't have to create one. We already have a decent one, CET in Bhubaneswar, which can be part of Utkal. Similarly, in Berhampur, there is a Parala Maharaj Engineering College, MKCG Medical College, Revansare Semti Paribo. So I would urge Ashok Babu has done a lot of research, and I would like to urge Ashok Babu to work with us and take data from us. I mean, I'm sure the other Professor Durga Bhaina, Prasant Viachi, they would add to this. I mean, if you want to be a good, I mean, in US, the universities are comprehensive research universities, and we have to focus on that. And one other point I want to quickly say, I will show you the NERF ranking slide. Where do you go? Okay, here. So this is the NERF ranking, and I actually created this, and we are blank in 3 areas: pharmacy, college, and architecture. None of our colleges are ranked, and I would urge Ashok Babu to take a few colleges and hope that they can be ranked in the NERF ranking. So for example, we have made many of our good colleges, universities already, but there are a few left, like BJP College, Achi, and Sarabala in Cuttack, and I'm sure there are others, Government College, Raurkela. So the colleges which are not already universities, we could make efforts to improve them and give them, get them some ranking. And this is in my web. If you go to my Facebook page, you can find I have kind of sorted the ranking of different places. So we have done, I'll just say 30 seconds to show you. In the overall, we have been lucky to get good ranking because of ICT Mumbai IOC campus achi, and that has a good ranking in universities as well as overall. HBNI Homi Babhar nicer, that has good ranking, bhalo ranking achi. NIT Raurkela is doing very well overall and in engineering. And these are some of the other rankings. People can look in my webpage or send me a mail. I can send them this. I'll share this link in the chat. People can look at it. So I'll stop here. I don't want to take too much time. I'll be happy to answer more questions. So my basic point is we should create comprehensive universities with components that we have. We don't do this, separate it out, and it doesn't add up to a top ranking university.
Okay, now we'll go to the question and answer session. So I have one question actually that is asked by Professor Bani Patra. How are Odisha universities taking advantage of central government schemes to support foreign faculty engagement, like GIAN lectures and Bhodra? There are so many different initiatives by the central government. Are the Odisha universities taking advantage of that? Can Professor Das answer, or
I do not think anybody has taken advantage of that. But Utkal, which is also recipient of RUSA scheme, has the opportunity of taking advantage of RUSA funding to get faculty in residence, foreign faculty in residence. It's possible.
And there is Professor Prasant Mahapatra has asked a question: how improving the quality of faculty and the instruction infrastructure?
This is.
I do not think there is a infrastructure major issue. You see, ranking and infrastructure are highly decoupled now. whether you look at NASC or NIRF, infra is not a major issue.
I'm
However,
talking about instructional infrastructure.
Instructional infrastructure is a problem. As I told, the digital component, the digital instructional platform is extremely poor. And because COVID has precipitated, it is basically the innovations of the university themselves and the faculty that the teaching learning process is going on. The second part is quality of faculty again. The quality of faculty, we have taken up a massive faculty development program under the World Bank Assistance Scheme, and it is proceeding in a manner. But as you know already, people have pointed out, the appointed faculty strength in colleges and university is unfortunately extremely low, and therefore the student faculty ratio is very high. And the bureaucratic process is slow because the Odisha Public Service Commission and the universities both are authorized to do that. But during the last 2-3 years, there have been, unfortunately, UGC put a ban for 1 year, 1.5 years, just arbitrarily. And so things have become slow, but my expectation is next 6 months. Hopefully, if COVID tail gets shortened a bit, the faculty recruitment will happen.
Okay. Another question is about what are the steps taken to enhance the biomedical or biotechnology research in Odisha? Because many of our faculty here in the United States, the ODIA faculty, they are of that discipline also. So what is the biotechnology and biomedical research?
I think 3 major universities are now having programs under DBT, the biotechnology department. And so they get assistance. For example, Utkal, Honorable Utkal VC is there. I think he can supplement. The Utkal Biotechnology and Life Sciences departments are doing extremely good work. Similarly, Kalikot University is doing good work. Revensa Biotechnology and Life Sciences are doing good work. I believe, and that is what I have also implored, that most of you who are in biotechnology, and there is a need now for people to interact, and now that remote connection is possible, at least it has been precipitated, please feel welcome to get in touch. And if there is any facilitation needed, then we'll try to do.
Yeah, another comment I have is it possible that the faculty in these universities can directly contact the professors in the United States to start the first? We can approach, but thing is, if they will contact any of the faculty, I believe everybody will reciprocate and start some sort of collaboration. But I have not seen any, whenever I get an email from any university, I have invited many people to come to our university. And so that is actually can be possible if the faculty is interested in Odisha and communicate with the respective, there in the respective field to have some interaction. And now I will welcome everybody to unmute and ask a question if you have any questions directly. And rather than asking in the questions in the chat, I have answered few of those. I have already put those questions. Please feel free to ask any questions by unmuting.
Namaskar. Arjun Purohit Kauchi. I have the privilege of being a student as well as a teacher of Revensa College. And I also, I was teaching here for a long time. And I feel very, very upset actually that in fact the quality of education is going down. You know, you have to start with having adequate number of faculties in a department. Lalu said that thing about Institute of Mathematics. When I was teaching in Revensa, we had 4, for example, in the undergraduate and 4 in the postgraduate. And then with Revensa, the Utkal was the distinct privilege of having a first advanced center in psychology in India. And when I go back, every year I go back, I give a seminar or something like that with Utkal because of my old association. And I literally wept this time literally cried because the heyday of so many faculties, very active research, humming with everything. Now the whole thing looks like a ghost town. There are hardly one or two faculties, even they are not coming to the classrooms. You know, it is so. I felt I really wept. I tell you, what has happened to this glorious institution? So, no matter how you cut it, we do not have any support. The whatever we build, we do not know how to maintain it. So this is
ଆପଣଙ୍କର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଟା କଣ? କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଟା
one
କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଟିକେ।
question which actually before you do anything, you have to improve the classroom. 50% of academic staffs all over Odisha universities are vacant. This is unacceptable. You cannot improve quality of education with no. Sorry.
Okay. Any other question?
Now, I want an answer. How are they going to do it? You know,
yes, that is the question.
We can dream of anything, but if you don't have faculty to teach, where do you start?
I think he's asking a very valid question. I would request Professor Samundra Patnaik or Professor Behra to answer what is the opportunity for faculty recruitment in the next 5 years.
May I take up that question, sir?
Yes, of course.
That process is already on. All major university in the states, you know, they have advertised professor, associate professor, and assistant professor, and we are now screening all this application. I think due to COVID-19 lockdown, there is a standstill situation, and by December 2020, we'll be able to fill up all those posts. All universities.
ମୁଁ ଦେଖିନଥିଲି ମତେ ଇଏ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାକୁ ଦେଖିକି ମୋ ମୁଣ୍ଡ ଖରାପ okay so what I'm going to do is okay
and I think by the end of this year, if COVID-19 situation improves, all those vacant teaching posts in the university, I'm not talking about colleges, all those vacant teaching posts in the university will be filled up, and we are already into the process, and probably that situation will improve, and we cannot say that there is vacancy in the university teaching system.
Thank you.
Dhiro, you have a question, Dhiro?
Yes. I have a question, particularly for last 15-20 years. In different platforms, we have discussed on the improvement of higher education, particularly working with Chitta Bhai on that. I have learned a lot, but my point is here. Most of the things that we do in Odisha is always person-centric. One person is there, take all the involved. Absolutely, we are in cloud nine. Okay, we'll do something. Once the person left, nothing happens. When we are going to focus on the process than the person. That's my humble submission.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I can just mention one thing. If the universities will have a contact point or an office where we can contact, that will be very beneficial, in my opinion. Hopefully, that will be taken up by the VCs and the Odisha Higher Education Council to see a contact point, or the faculty can directly contact. So I think we are coming to an end, but we can one more question. Yes, go ahead.
Can I have a question? Yes, I'm Digambar Patra. I'm a professor at American University of Beirut. So I know Professor Barar and Mr. Kara. Since Professor Behra is there, I would like to point one thing, what Professor Barar rightly pointed out, that was in mind since a while. Because now we have two young university and we have medical college coming on there. So why not to integrate those medical college, new medical college, and have a comprehensive university? For instance, in Balangir, they can integrate with the medical college, and we have the VC and he can propose it. Similarly, in Kalahandi, there is an engineering college, a medical college that can be also integrated. And when it comes to research, I think most of the international university now, they are using the citation and they are using the H index and Q1 and Q2 journal. And this is one of the way to improve the research. And we have experience in our own university. And it really matters, when you adopt such a method with the quantification and bring competitiveness. I have personal experience with NIT Raulkela. NIT Raulkela chemistry department was doing poorly compared to Sambalpur University in research sometime back, 10 years ago. But now they are far away because they adopted recruitment similar to IIT. So they have open advertisement. So this is my suggestion.
One question, Prasant, can you give some comments or something?
Yeah, just a quick comment. To improve the rank of any university, you need two major things. One is the quality and the other is the size. Chita already talked about the size. I think he has good ideas. In terms of quality, what I'm kind of focusing what could be done in future. A big factor is the role of leadership. If you look at the successful universities, at some point there was an inflection, and the inflection was driven by a strong leader. So we probably need to create a task force between OSA and the educational leaders of Odisha, and have this task force kind of work towards aiming at changing the culture. And that culture will kind of drive the research and as well as the educational infrastructure as we move forward. And we can talk more offline on this.
We are Prasad. This is Ajay bhai.
Okay, sorry. Extremely sorry. We have to close this meeting.
Okay.
It's already 1. We have a general body meeting that's going to start now.
Okay,
I'm extremely sorry.
Give me 30 seconds. I would like to appreciate everybody to come, and this is a very, very discussion point that we can continue. But all of you are actually wishers of the OSA and the higher education in Odisha. First, I would like to thank all the invited speakers and panelists from Odisha. They find the time to come in the night. And then also the participants of OSA, it is a fantastic that to see all the faces that I recognize and come up with some ideas. But we need to have a contact point where we can do some joint collaboration research. Funding is not an issue. We can write proposals. And then those are the things we like to see from them. If they can communicate with me, I can forward that thing to all the faculties or the professional research labs. Many people actually from Odisha, they are there in the national labs here. So we can continue that process. Anyway, I will once again, thank you everybody for participating. We have around 65 members joined and discussed this event. And now we'll probably
Thank you, Durga Babu. Thank you for conducting such a valuable seminar. And thank you everybody for joining us. I think we'll continue with this maybe in a future session.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody.